It looks like tile, doesn't it? It's actually really impressive. Over the years, these last 5 or 6 years, this has been a very popular type of product. This is a click together waterproof floor for bathrooms, kitchens, anywhere in your home. And I want to show you in this video a bunch of tips on how to install this. It really saves a lot of time, and it's, it's slip resistant. It's great. It looks awesome. So I really think you'll like it, and you'll put it in your own bathroom. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is just caulk this to the existing floor, because in case water ever got underneath of here, I prefer it not to go underneath the shower pan. So I'm just going to use my Go board sealant and just seal against here. Okay, so we're going to take off all our trim, basically our quarter round trim here all the way around the room. Okay, so I don't exactly know how I feel about it, but these days tile is kind of going out. I think the expense and the labor of people doing tile work is getting to be too much, and they just keep coming out with better and better stuff as far as laminate floating floor systems. This one particularly is waterproof, so they're claiming that it's waterproof, which would be great for bathrooms. That was one of the biggest things that I used to talk people out of doing laminate in bathrooms, is because it wasn't waterproof. Well, now they're coming out with this stuff, and it's really looking exactly like tile. This is basically like a 12 by 24. It has a rubber backing on the back, and it's just clicked together. So, that's where we're at now. This is taking a big part out of the tile industry for sure, because you could pretty much install 2 of these floors for the price that it's going to cost to have tile done. Now, if you're doing this yourself, tile and this is pretty much going to cost you the same. This stuff is not cheap, especially the waterproof stuff. You're probably, at a decent price for tile. This is, with the cover of this, but, the labor is definitely shorter. I mean, waterproofing of tile is definitely superior to this. There's no question about it. If you're doing a curbless shower, you're not going to be able to use this stuff. There's a lot of situations where if you're getting a lot of water saturation of any sort, this still isn't going to hold up. But in a bathroom like this, where I just have a regular shower base, honestly, this stuff is going to last the 15, 20 years, probably no problem. And again, you can just go ahead and replace this and be, half the cost of what it takes to do tile. I'll probably be able to get this down in this bathroom in under a couple of hours, where I could probably set the tile in that kind of speed, but then I have to wait and come back and grout. It's just that you're definitely looking at 2 to 3 times the amount of labor to do tile than you are doing this stuff. So let me show you how this works. Very simple, don't need a lot of tools. That's the other thing. You don't need a lot of tools to be able to do this stuff. Basically just like a little pry bar to push it together, a pounding block, a rubber mallet, and this is probably the most important tool, is an oscillating tool. This is probably the most expensive tool that you would need. And I have a nice wide blade on this, so I can cut through my door jambs and be able to slide this underneath. I could pretty much mostly cut everything with this, even the long straight cuts with this stuff. Stuff is pretty easy, but I do have a circular saw with a fine carbide blade. You can also use a table saw as well. And then I also have a jigsaw. So, but you could pretty much do everything with this. These other tools are just gonna make things a little bit quicker and faster. Speed square, pencil, tape measure, and that's really about it. So the rule of thumb on this stuff is that they want this to either, they prefer you to do half patterns, but you can do down to third patterns, so 8 inches. So nothing less than 8 inches for the overlap. When you're starting out, just make sure the tongue is facing out both directions so that you can slide them in. I'm just going to start with a full piece right at my shower base. Reference just like a tile layer. Make sure that I'm not going to get any slivers up against the edge of my room as well. So let's just go ahead and see where this is going to line up on the other side of this cabinet. Go ahead and put this out here, get a reference of where we're going to be. That's my edge piece again, this transition. So like a 3-inch piece. I think that'll be all right. That's not going to be bad. Now this room is like, has quite a funky layout to it. You can see it goes into the bathroom as well. So this is going to be a little bit more challenging than just your standard bathroom, but I would recommend just starting off of your shower base and then working your way from there, because this is going to be the most visible area. So I'm just going to be running this straight up against the wall. You want to basically have a 1/4-inch reveal all the way around. And let's just go ahead and cut this in half. That just snaps. And then again, we're gonna have a 1/4-inch reveal, so we make this like 9.5. Well, it actually fits pretty tight. You know, we gotta cut a little bit out here. So just take your oscillating tool. That's where this nice wide blade works out a lot, helps out. So we need to first establish where we're going to cut for the trim. So kind of make sure that's in that groove. Just mark where the edge of your trim is. We have to this base trim, we have 2 inches. 2 inches from here. So we'll be cutting this straight across to the edge of my trim, because this is going to go around out on the outside of the base trim. We got another 2 1/4, and then we're going to have to make sure that we notch this out all the way back to this point. So all this gets taken out. Nice.
Almost looks, the guy said it looks like soft sand with my dad.
Okay, so when you set this in, just put the long piece in and just try to hold this just slightly outside out of this area because you want to avoid splitting this edge. So when you set this down inside here, just kind of keep it away from the edge. Put a little bit of pressure on the one side or on the grooves together, and then pound them together. But you really just want to really pay attention to the tightness of everything. So make sure that everything is 100% tight, because if it's not, it'll end up growing on you over time and you might end up with problems. So, all right, and then we'll go. Okay, so one common problem when using a floating floor is something up against a tub or a shower base like this. So what I'm going to recommend is buying one of these flexible splash guards. Basically, it has a double-sided tape on it, and this will, so you always have to keep maintain a gap in between your floor for expansion and contraction, so like a 1/4 inch gap. So this is going to go right on against the side of the shower base, and this is going to allow that floor to move, but then also make this watertight to the floor as well. So first thing I'm going to do is just get some clear silicone. So you can just use some clear stuff, and we're just going to seal right against this base. And we'll go ahead and put our base cove in here. I'll make a nice watertight seal to not only the base, but right against the floor. So that will really prevent any major problems from water.